Every year, as the clock strikes midnight on the 31st of December, billions of people across the globe erupt in celebration. We watch fireworks light up the sky, make resolutions for a better version of ourselves, and believe that we are stepping into a brand new chapter of existence. But have you ever stopped to ask, why January? Why does our global calendar reset in the middle of the dark, freezing winter of the Northern Hemisphere? The answer lies not in the stars, but in the political maneuvers of ancient Rome and a god with two faces. In the earliest Roman calendars, the year didn't even begin in January. It began in March, following the natural cycle of spring and the rebirth of the earth. This is why months like September, October, and November carry Latin roots for the numbers 7, 8, and 9, even though they are now our 9th, 10th, and 11th months. The transition to January only occurred around the year 153 before the Common Era. Romans dedicated this month to Janus, the god of beginnings, gates, transitions, and time. Janus was uniquely depicted with two faces, one looking back at the past and the other looking forward into the future. However, the celebration we know today was nearly erased by history. During the Middle Ages in Europe, Christian leaders viewed New Year's festivities as pagan and unholy. For centuries, different countries celebrated the New Year on various dates, such as the 25th of December or the 25th of March. It wasn't until the year 1582, when Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar, that the 1st of January was restored as the official start of the year for most of the Western world. Yet, the tradition of the New Year resolution is even older than the Roman gods. For centuries, different countries celebrated the New Year on various dates, such as the 25th of December or the 25th of March. It wasn't until the year 1582, when Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar, that the 1st of January was restored as the official start of the year for most of the Western world. Yet, the tradition of the New Year resolution is even older than the Roman gods. 4,000 years ago, the ancient Babylonians were the first to make promises to their deities at the start of the year. Instead of promising to go to the gym or save money, they promised to return borrowed farm equipment and pay off their debts. They believed that if they kept their word, their gods would grant them a fertile harvest. So, the next time you toast to the new year, remember that you are participating in a ritual that has survived 4 millennia of shifting calendars, fallen empires, and the eternal gaze of a two-faced god. Today, the 14th of February is a billion-dollar industry filled with red roses, heart-shaped chocolates, and expensive dinners. We see it as a celebration of romantic love, but its origins are written in blood and defiance against a Roman emperor. The story begins in the 3rd century, under the rule of Emperor Claudius II. Rome was constantly at war, and the emperor believed that married men made poor soldiers because they were too worried about their families. To solve this, he made a shocking decision. He banned marriage for all young men in Rome. But in the shadows of the city, a defiant priest named Valentine refused to let love be silenced. He believed that the bond of marriage was sacred and continued to perform secret weddings for soldiers and their lovers in dimly lit rooms. Eventually, the emperor's spies discovered Valentine's betrayal. He was arrested and sentenced to a brutal execution. While in prison, legend says that Valentine fell in love with the jailer's blind daughter and, through his faith, miraculously restored her sight. Before his execution on the 14th of February, he wrote her a final note, signing it, "From your Valentine," a phrase that would echo through 2,000 years of history. On the 1st of April, people across the world play pranks, tell lies, and shout "April Fools" when their victim falls for the trap. But why do we dedicate an entire day to deception? The most popular theory takes us back to the year 1582 in France. Before this time, many people celebrated the new year around the end of March or the 1st of April, coinciding with the beginning of spring. However, when King Charles IX adopted the Gregorian calendar, the new year was moved to the 1st of January. In an era without the internet or fast communication, news traveled slowly. Many people in rural areas didn't get the message, and others simply refused to change their traditions. Those who continued to celebrate the new year in April were mocked as fools. People would play tricks on them, like pinning paper fish to their backs, calling them April fish, symbolizing a young, easily caught fish. Over time, this local mockery evolved into a global tradition of harmless mischief. It reminds us of a time when failing to keep up with the calendar could make you the laughingstock of the entire village. The 1st of May is often associated with spring festivals, but for the modern world, it represents the International Workers' Day. This day was not born from a celebration, but from a desperate and violent struggle for human dignity. In the late 19th century, during the height of the Industrial Revolution, men, women, and even children were forced to work 12 to 16 hours a day in dangerous conditions. In the year 1886, thousands of workers in Chicago went on strike, demanding a simple change: 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for what we will. The protest reached a tragic climax at Haymarket Square on the 4th of May. A bomb was thrown into the crowd, leading to a riot that killed several police officers and civilians. In the aftermath, 4 labor leaders were executed, despite a lack of evidence. Their sacrifice became a global symbol. In the year 1889, an international federation of socialist groups declared the 1st of May as a day to honor the Haymarket martyrs and continue the fight for workers' rights. Today, when you enjoy a weekend or an 8-hour workday, you are standing on the shoulders of those who fought and died in the streets of Chicago. Mother's Day is a time of gratitude, but the woman who created it ended her life in a state of deep bitterness. In the early 1900s, a woman named Anna Jarvis wanted to honor her own mother's memory. She envisioned a day of quiet reflection and white carnations to celebrate the personal sacrifices mothers make for their children. In the year 1914, President Woodrow Wilson officially made it a national holiday. But as soon as it became official, the commercial world pounced. Florists, candy makers, and greeting card companies began selling Mother's Day as a mandatory shopping event. Anna Jarvis was horrified. She believed the sentiment was being replaced by greed. She spent the rest of her life and her entire inheritance fighting to have the holiday abolished. She organized protests, threatened lawsuits, and was even arrested for disturbing the peace at a florist convention. Anna Jarvis died penniless in a sanitarium, never having become a mother herself, and hating the very day that now generates billions of dollars every year. Every October 31st, children dress as monsters and knock on doors for candy. But the origins of Halloween are far darker than a costume party. 2,000 years ago, the Celts celebrated a festival called Samhain. They believed that on this night, the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead became thin. Ghostly spirits could cross over, bringing chaos and destroying crops. To protect themselves, the Celts lit massive bonfires and wore terrifying masks made of animal heads and skins. The logic was simple: if a spirit encountered you, they would think you were one of them and leave you alone. This is the true ancestor of the modern Halloween costume. When the Catholic Church tried to replace these pagan rituals with All Saints' Day, on the 1st of November, the old traditions refused to die. They merged into All Hallows' Eve, which eventually became Halloween. The trick-or-treat tradition likely comes from the medieval practice of souling, where poor people would visit houses and offer prayers for the dead in exchange for small cakes. What we see as a fun night of candy is actually a survival ritual from a time when the dark was something to truly fear.
Small as pinky rings, my people play their position, puzzle pieces complete the vision. Yeah, we've been working like the energizer bug non-stop.
Every tradition we follow is a thread connecting us to thousands of years of human genius, struggle, and survival. The next time you see a red circle on your calendar, remember that there is a ghost of the past standing right behind it. If you enjoyed this journey through the hidden corners of history, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join us as we continue to explore the stories that define our world. Thank you for watching Behind the Norm. The truth is always stranger than the tradition. We will see you in the next chapter.